Okay, hello fellow preppers. This is Irish Prepper. Okay, today I didn't want to sit still. I wanted to stand up. My legs are killing me. Gotta keep moving. Anyways, today we're gonna do, as you can see, homemade oxygen absorbers, and I'm pretty sure that's the periodic table thingy for oxygen, right? Oh, little two like that. Anyways, okay, so these can be used for multiple things. First, being useful in keeping, like if you have electronics that you're going to be storing, especially if you're living in a place like, well, down south, practically everywhere. I've been to Georgia, I've been to Louisiana, I've been to Florida, even Texas. Freaking humid most of the time, okay? And I hate humidity. Love, the spirit of the South and all that stuff, but I could not live down there. I was in the Army for 4 years, spent 3 of it actually in Texas, and a little bit in Georgia for basic training, and I've spent a month in Louisiana at Fort Polk in training. I had to go back to Iraq, and so and that's why I was only 3 years in Texas, because I spent a year in Iraq. So, anyways, this is for those of you that don't want to, if you've bought, so I don't even know what the frick those things are called, those little oxygen absorbers, right? If you've bought those, you can kind of find out pretty quick that they're not really super expensive, but if you have the materials to do it yourself, and this is more the point at which I'm getting at, is that if you can do it yourself, do it yourself. Develop that skill. So, basically, this is how you do it. You can see the materials right there. You're going to need steel wool, okay? Quadruple zero super fine, alright? Don't use like SOS pads. The stuff that, even if it's not like a normal SOS pad, just like a steel wool pad that you would use to clean your car, or clean your rims or whatever, or scrub a pan out on the stove or whatever. That's not what you should be using, okay? It might work okay, but that's not going to be the best option that you have, okay? So don't be using that thickness. You want to get the finest stuff you can get, okay? Second thing, table salt, alright? Table salt is going to be just fine. You don't have to go get some fancy crap like, sea salt, or, anything like that, or anything exotic. I know they got some pretty exotic salts out there. You don't need that stuff, okay? Just table salt right next to your pepper shaker, okay? The salt shaker in that next to that is perfect, okay? Next thing is a paper towel, okay? Well, depending on how many you want to use or make. And then the next thing is a stapler, all right? Now, but this is all depending on the container size that you're going to be putting these in, okay? How big you're going to make it, okay? But you're going to take a wad of steel wool, you're going to lay it open, or on an open paper towel, okay? And sprinkle salt all over the steel wool. You're going to work it in. You're going to get it all up in that steel wool. Get it all up in there, okay? and so you're going to get into the steel wool fibers, and you're going to fold the towel over, and you're going to staple it into like an envelope shape, okay? That's it. See how simple that was? Very simple. That's why I'm not even going to show you how I did it. First of all, I have no more steel wool pads, and I've used all the ones I've made, and I have no idea where my stapler is. Okay. Anyways, shows you what a great pepper I am. No, anyways, this is it's just so simple. You could tape this thing together. It's gonna work just fine. But the what happens is that the salt's acidity activates the corrosion of the fine steel wool. Okay, and the rusting of the steel absorbs oxygen in the container. I mean, the way those little things work that you put into, let's say you're canning and you're canning rice or something like that, and you stick a little a little, whatever the freak those things are called. I can't never remember the name of them. Anyways, the oxygen absorber. You stick it in there, and then you seal the can. Okay. Usually nowadays they use like nitrogen or gas or something like that, and it sucks out or it pushes out all the oxygen. But you still stick one of those in there just for the excess oxygen that's still going to be deep down inside the kernels. Okay, and as that works its way throughout the rice or whatever you're using, you're canning right there, or whatever you're storing, the oxygen is going to help corrode any parts that can be corroded. Okay, and anyways, but those little oxygen absorbers, those commercial ones, they're nothing more than like a fine iron powder mix with like a polymer grain to allow, like they're mixed in with the polymer grain to allow air circulation through the powder. Okay, the rusting of the iron powder does the oxygen scavenging of the container's contents. It's that simple. It's also very easy to replicate that process as I just showed you. Okay, paper towel, steel wool, salt on the steel wool, rub it in, tape it shut. Okay, that easy. Now, you want to keep all of your unused do-it-yourself oxygen absorbers in like an airtight freezer bag until you need them. If you're going to make like extras all at the same time. Okay, and let's see. Can I think of anything else? No, that's it. Oh, as far as the steel wool goes, how it says, quadruple zero superfine. Okay, basically that type that you would be using, it's the type of steel wool you would use on like furniture. Okay, like when you're refinishing a cabinet or something like that. That's the type of steel wool that you need to be using. Okay, it has a finer structure and it's way more dense. Okay, has a lot of stuff in there, so you can rip it apart and use it in more than one. You don't have to use a whole pad per oxygen absorber. It's right there in front of me. It's right there. Okay. So anyways, I'm sorry this video's moving around so much. I hope I'm not giving you too much of a headache. But right there, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Lay down the napkin, the paper towel. Put the steel wool on it. Sprinkle it with salt, and that's not, as far as sprinkling the salt, that's not like a I don't know what you would call it, a defined process. It's not a refined process. You sprinkle it on there, get some in there so that the salt can interact with the iron, okay, and kind of degrade that a little bit so that the iron starts to interact with the oxygen, okay, and that's it. And it would kind of do it on its own, but you definitely need the salt to kind of give that process a kickstart, okay. So, and then you fold over the paper towel and you staple it shut. It's that simple, and they work really good. And like I said, that's just one of the things that we as preppers, just one more tool, one more trick that you have in the bag that can make you a better prepper and kind of MacGyver your way through this thing, but in a good way. Things that are actually going to work. So, thanks for coming on here and checking this out today. I know this one's going to be like, what? That you're going to be seeing this thing, you're going to be like, that totally makes sense. How come I'm paying all this money to get these oxygen absorbers when I can do it myself? So, and especially when it takes, the super fine steel wool, freaking cheap. You can get this stuff cheap. So, there you go. You guys have a nice evening. Hope this helps you in your little process as you're going through your prepping. And this is Irish Prepper signing out. Take care.